Not all 55-plus communities in Lakewood Ranch are created equal. And if you're comparing Webb Lakewood Ranch, Cresswind, and the new Webb Catalina, there are some very important differences you need to understand before you buy. I'm creating a full video series about retiring here in Lakewood Ranch, including communities costs, lifestyle, healthcare, HOA fees, taxes, new construction, resale, and what buyers should know before making a move. So if you're thinking about retiring in Lakewood Ranch, or you're helping someone make that decision, make sure you subscribe now so that you can follow the entire series. In this video, we're starting with the three best-known 55-plus communities in Lakewood Ranch: Webb Lakewood Ranch, Cresswind, and Webb Catalina. The question is not simply which one is best. The question is which one is best for you, because each community has a different personality. Webb is the established large-scale community. Cresswind is newer, smaller, and may feel more upscale. Catalina is the newest option with new construction and a new resort-style amenity package. Each one has real advantages and each one has trade-offs. So let's break them down in this next video. Let's start with Webb Lakewood Ranch because this is the original large-scale 55-plus community inside Lakewood Ranch. Webb was built by Pulte and has approximately 1,286 homes. The community started selling late 2015, so it's no longer a brand new community. It's an established resale community with real history, active amenities, and lifestyle buyers can evaluate today. And that's the key advantage of Webb. You're not buying into a future promise. You can see the homes, the amenities, the social structure, the HOA, the resale history, and the day-to-day feel of the community before you make a decision. One of the biggest positives of Webb Lakewood Ranch is that it is established. For many out-of-state buyers, that creates peace of mind. The homes are built, the clubs are formed, the amenities are active, the residents are already living the lifestyle. Another major positive is the size. Because Webb is a larger community, there are more residents, more clubs, more events, and more opportunities to meet people. For buyers relocating to Florida and looking to build a new social circle, that can be a big advantage. Webb has also a strong active adult amenity package, including Clubhouse, fitness, pool, pickleball, tennis, bocce clubs, events, and gathering spaces. One of the more unique pieces is the Barefoot Bar. That gives Webb more of a resort-style social feel. For many residents, it becomes a place to meet friends, grab something to eat, enjoy a drink, and stay connected without leaving the neighborhood. The location is also a major positive. Webb Lakewood Ranch is near Bourneside Boulevard and State Road 70, giving residents strong access to Waterside, UTC Mall, Sarasota Hospitals, SRQ Airport, restaurant, shopping, and the Sarasota side of the ranch. So if you want a gated 55-plus community with good access to medical care, shopping, restaurants, airport, and the broader Amenity area, Webb is a very strong location. Now, the first potential downside is also one of its biggest strengths: the size. Some buyers love a large active community, others may feel it's too big, too busy, too structured. In a community of this size, there can be more internal traffic, more residents using amenities, and more competition for certain classes, clubs, even pickleball courts. So the size is not automatically good or bad, it depends on the buyer. The second consideration is the age of the homes. Because Webb started selling homes in around 2015, many of the homes reflect design trends, floor plans, finishes, and builder options from that period. That does not mean the homes are outdated or poorly designed. Many are functional and many owners have updated them beautifully. But buyers should also understand that Webb is now primarily a resale community. So when you walk through homes, you may see differences in floor plan flow, ceiling height, kitchen layouts, cabinet styles, countertops, flooring, lighting, outdoor living spaces, and mechanical systems. Some homes may feel very current, others may need updates. That is why buyers should not compare Webb to a new community like Catalina based on price alone. You need to look at the actual home, the condition, the upgrades, the age of the HVAC, appliances, roof, landscaping, and much more needed for closing. A restaurant or bar inside a 55-plus community can be a wonderful amenity, but this is also a business operation. When an HOA or community board is responsible for overseeing food service, the experience can become inconsistent. It involves staffing, food quality, service, pricing, hours, management, resident expectation, and financial performance. In the case of Webb Lakewood Ranch, during the transition from builder control to homeowner board, there were difficulties and resident frustrations around the restaurant and food service operation. That doesn't mean that the amenity has no value. It absolutely does, but buyers should understand that a restaurant inside a 55-plus community is not just a lifestyle perk, it's something that needs to be managed well. Other consideration is the growth around the community. Del Webb's location is very convenient, but it also sits near a major growth corridor. Bourneside Boulevard and State Road 70 are being expanded in this part of Lakewood Ranch as it continues to grow. Long-term, better roads and infrastructure are usually a positive. Short-term, buyers may deal with more construction, more traffic, more commercial development, and more activity around the community. So the issue is not that Del Webb is too far away, it's actually the opposite. Del Webb is close to the growing and changing part of Lakewood Ranch, and buyers need to understand that that area may feel busier over time. Finally, Del Webb is established. Buyers should review the HOA budget, fees, reserves, meeting minutes, and future amenity needs. As any community matures, roads, gates, landscaping, irrigation, pools, clubhouses, restaurants, and shared amenities require ongoing maintenance. So the question is not just, what is the HOA today? The better question is, what is included? How well is the community funded? And what could the cost look like over the next 5 or 10 years? So the bottom line on Del Webb Lakewood Ranch? Del Webb is the established option. It offers a large social network, active amenities, a restaurant component, strong access to Waterside, UTC, hospitals, and the airport, and the benefit of the community buyers can evaluate now. The trade-off is that the homes are resales, the amenities are older, the food service component can add complexity, and the area around the community is continuing to grow. For the right buyer, Del Webb Lakewood Ranch can be a very strong choice. But you need to be comfortable with the size, the resale condition of the homes, and the HOA structure and the long-term maintenance responsibilities. Now let's talk about Cresswind Lakewood Ranch, which may be the middle ground option for many 55-plus buyers. Cresswind was built by Coulter Homes and is planned for about 648 homes, making it roughly half the size of Del Webb Lakewood Ranch. The community opened around 2019, so it's newer than Del Webb, but far enough along that buyers can experience the community as it exists today. Cresswind is not just a future concept. The clubhouse is complete, the amenities are active, the lifestyle is happening, and there is still a small number of new or new construction move-in opportunities available, along with models you can tour. That makes Cresswind interesting because it gives buyers a combination of established lifestyle and newer home design. One of the biggest positives of Cresswind is the home design. Because it was built in the more recent cycle than Del Webb, many of the homes feel more current. Depending on the home, buyers may find more open layouts, larger kitchens, higher ceilings, better indoor-outdoor living, larger owner suites, and more modern finishes. That does not mean every home is upgraded the same way, but overall, Cresswind tends to feel newer and more contemporary. Another positive is the scale. At around 648 homes, Cresswind is large enough to support an active 55-plus community, but not so large that every buyer feels overwhelmed. For many relocating buyers, that balance is very appealing. You get the clubs, the events, the fitness, pickleball, social programming, and resort atmosphere, but in a community that feels more manageable than Del Webb. Cresswind may also have a more upscale resort feel. The clubhouse and the amenity center do not feel like a basic neighborhood clubhouse. They feel like something that you might find in a boutique resort or a high-end hotel. More modern architecture, polished gathering spaces, attractive pool areas, fitness, and strong lifestyle presentation. But the real difference is not just the building, it's the energy. Cresswind has a lively activity calendar and live bands, entertainment, comedy nights, theme gatherings, fitness programs, clubs, and community events. For buyers looking to relocate to Lakewood Ranch, that could be a huge advantage because it makes it easier to connect and build friendships. Another positive is that Cresswind does not depend on HOA-managed restaurant to create that social lifestyle. There's a food truck and event plaza component, but not the same built-in restaurant or bar operation the HOA has to manage every day. So for some buyers, that's actually a benefit. You still get the social energy, but without the same food service complexity, staffing concerns, pricing issues, HOA exposure that comes with running a restaurant inside a community. And in Lakewood Ranch, not having an internal restaurant may not be a major drawback. There is no shortage of restaurants here. From casual dining to happy hours to fine dining, the options in and around the Lakewood Ranch area are almost endless, and many are very, very good. For a lot of residents, meeting friends for happy hour, going out to dinner, enjoying live music, and trying different places around the ranch is part of the lifestyle. So while Cresswind does not have the same built-in restaurant or bar component as Del Webb, many buyers may not feel that they're missing out. Location is another positive. Cresswind sits in a strong Lakewood Ranch position with strong access to shopping, dining, recreation, golf, Sarasota Polo Club, Waterside, UTC, and the beaches. It gives buyers a gated 55 environment while still being connected to the broader Lakewood Ranch lifestyle. Now let's talk about the cautions. First potential downside is that Cresswind is smaller than Del Webb. For many buyers, that is a positive, but for some who want the largest possible social network, the most clubs, the most residents, and the biggest community feel, Cresswind may feel smaller. It is active and social, but it does not have the same scale as Del Webb. The second consideration is pricing. Because Cresswind is newer, many homes have more current designs and finishes, but prices may be higher than some of the older Del Webb resales. Buyers should compare the full equation, not just the purchase price. What is included? What upgrades are already in the home? What is the lot like? How are the HOA fees? What are the CDD fees and assessments? What would it cost to buy a cheaper resale and update it? Cresswind also has less long-term resale history than Del Webb. Del Webb has more years of resale data and a larger number of transactions. Cresswind is established enough to evaluate, but is not as mature as the long-term resale history standpoint. And finally, even though Cresswind is newer, buyers still need to review the HOA budgets, reserves, rules, fees, maintenance, responsibilities, and future costs. Newer communities eventually become mature communities. Pools, gates, landscaping, irrigation systems, clubhouses, fitness, courts, common areas all require maintenance over time. The bottom line on Cresswind Lakewood Ranch, Cresswind is the balanced option. It's newer than Del Webb, smaller in scale, more contemporary in home design, and may feel more upscale and resort-like. It is a completed clubhouse, active social calendar, models available that you can tour, and some remaining new construction opportunities. The trade-off is that it's smaller than Del Webb, does not have the same internal restaurant or bar component, may be priced higher in some of the older resales, and has less long-term history. For the right buyer, Cresswind can be a very strong choice, eventually if you want to live in a newer home, more manageable community in size, and an upscale feel in an active 55+ without the added complexity of a restaurant. Now let's talk about Del Webb Catalina, the newest Del Webb 55+ community in Lakewood Ranch. Catalina is also being built by Pulte and is planned to be another large-scale community of about 1,300 homes when completed. It was introduced in late 2023 and had its grand opening in early 2025, so it's new construction option in this comparison. And that's the key difference. Del Webb Lakewood Ranch is established resale. Cresswind is newer, mostly established, and still has some new construction opportunities. Catalina is the newest option and is still being built out. That creates both opportunity and uncertainty. The biggest positive for Del Webb Catalina is new construction. For many buyers, that's the major advantage. You get newer homes, newer floor plans, newer finishes, newer building codes, mechanicals, roofs, newer appliances, and the ability to choose options that fit your taste. And that can be very appealing compared with buying a resale that may need flooring, counters, cabinets, lighting, appliances, or landscaping or outdoor living updates. Catalina also offers multiple home collections, including single-family homes and villas. That gives buyers flexibility. They may want a larger single-family home with more space, a pool, and a premium lot. Others prefer a villa-style home with less maintenance, more lock-and-leave lifestyle. Catalina also has models available to tour, which is very important. Buyers are not just looking at brochures and renderings. They can walk through model homes, compare floor plans, see finishes, understand ceiling heights, kitchen layouts, storage, outdoor living space, and get a real feel for the homes. Catalina is also being designed around a large, modern resort amenity plan. The vision includes a major resort campus, lake, clubhouse, wellness center, pool areas, sports, pickleball, walking areas, and social spaces. For today's 55+ buyer, that's appealing because buyers increasingly want wellness, fitness, pickleball, gathering areas and views, and a resort-style environment. Another positive is that Catalina benefits from the Del Webb brand and Pulte's experience in Lakewood Ranch. It's not an unknown builder trying to figure out 55+ that has already built a successful active adult community nearby. Catalina is essentially the next generation of that concept. Now, the first caution is that Catalina is new. The Resort Amenity Center is currently under construction. The social clubs are still forming, the resident culture is still developing, and the long-term HOA experience is not fully known. That does not mean Catalina is a bad choice. It simply means buyers need to understand part of their buying is into the future of the community. Another caution is the size. Catalina is planned to be large, similar in scale to Lakewood Ranch Del Webb, and that can support a major amenity package and active lifestyle, but it may not appeal to all buyers wanting something smaller, quieter, and more intimate. Timing is also important. Catalina has model homes available to tour, but the larger resort center amenity experience is still being built. If you buy early, you may not have the full lifestyle experience on day one. You may be living through construction for several more years, waiting for the Clubhouse, the wellness center, to be fully operational. That does not make Catalina a bad choice, but buyers need to be honest with themselves. Do they want the finished lifestyle today, or are you comfortable buying into the future version of the community? Another caution is cost. New construction can look attractive because everything is new, but the base price is only the starting point. Lot premiums, structural options, design center upgrades, pool packages, outdoor kitchen, window treatment, landscaping, closing costs, HOA, CDD, all change the real number. So buyers should ask, what will the home actually cost me by the time it's built the way I want it? There's also a question about future HOA and amenity management. A large amenity package can be a major lifestyle benefit, but it also creates long-term operating responsibilities. Clubhouses, pools, fitness centers, sports clubs, landscaping, trails. Cost money to operate and maintain. And finally, buyers should consider location, growth, and potential noise. Catalina is located in one of the newer growth areas of Lakewood Ranch near State Road 70. That can be exciting because buyers are getting into a new community early, but it also means construction, future homes, road changes, commercial growth surrounding that area that'll look different in 5 or 10 years. There's also an important disclosure point. Bradenton Motorsports Park and the Freedom Factory located nearby. Those racetracks have been there for many years, and buyers should understand that motorsports noise can be a part of the environment, especially during events and evening activity. The developer and community appear to be addressing this with sound mitigation measures, including with a landscape berm and a wall and buffering, but buyers should not assume noise will be completely eliminated. If you're noise sensitive, you should do extra due diligence, visit the community at different times of day, ask about the racetrack schedules, review any noise disclosures, ask what mitigation is being installed, and understand that all berms, walls, landscaping, and impact glass may reduce noise, but they may not remove it entirely. Bottom line, for Catalina is the newest option, but it gives buyers the appeal of new construction, current floor plans, models that they can tour now, and future resort-style amenities. The trade-off is that it's still being built out, the full amenity experience is not finished, the culture is still forming, the long-term HOA history is unknown, and the surrounding area is going to continue to change as Lakewood Ranch grows. For the right buyer, Catalina could be very exciting. But it isn't just about buying new, it's about understanding what is finished today, what is promised for the future, and what the real cost will be once the options and fees are included, whether you're comfortable with living through that growth period. Final wrap up, when you compare Del Webb Lakewood Ranch, Cresswind, and Del Webb Catalina, the answer is not simply which community is best. The better question is, which community is best for you? Del Webb may be a great fit if you want an established 55-plus community with a large social network, a restaurant component, and a proven lifestyle. Cresswind may be a better fit if you want something newer, more manageable in size, more upscale in feel, and active without being quite as large. And Catalina may appeal to you if you want brand new construction, current floor plans, and an opportunity to get into the next generation of Del Webb inside Lakewood Ranch, as long as you're comfortable with the fact that the community is still being built out. But here's the important point. Whether you're buying new construction or resale, it's always a good idea to have a local professional helping you understand the full picture. The model home is designed to sell the dream. The listing photos are designed to make the resale home look its best. But the real decision comes down to lifestyle, location, fees, HOA structure, future costs, resale value, construction timing, road growth, noise considerations, and how each community actually feels once you live there. That's where local experience matters. I live in Lakewood Ranch, I work in Lakewood Ranch, and I've sold in these retirement communities. I understand the difference between what looks good on paper and what may actually be the best fit for the way that you want to live. So if you're thinking about retiring in Lakewood Ranch, or you're comparing Del Webb, Cresswind, and Catalina, or any other community in the area, reach out to me before you make a decision. I can help you compare the options, understand the trade-offs, and decide whether new construction or resale makes the most sense for you. Because the goal is not just to buy a home in Lakewood Ranch. The goal is to choose the right lifestyle, the right community, and the right home for the next chapter in your life. And remember, this is just one video in my Retiring in Lakewood Ranch series. I'll be covering cost of living, property taxes, healthcare access, HOA fees, new construction versus resale, and the lifestyle differences between the communities. So make sure you subscribe to the next videos in the series. I'm George Latos with Zackos Realty, and if you're thinking about making a move to Lakewood Ranch, call, text, or message me. I'd be happy to help you make a smarter, not just faster move.